So, white man came for black Americans and he thought that black Americans are just going to keep quiet, they're just going to look away, they're not even going to say anything. That was actually his thinking. He thought we are in the era where they can literally say anything, do anything, and we'll just be like, oh, let peace reign, let peace reign, let's just go on our way. He forgot that this is not only the 21st century, but the century whereby we are ready to speak, we are ready to voice out. In fact, if you give us basketballs, we give you basketballs back. You give us karma, we give you karma. You give us fafo, we give you fafo. This is not the days of John the Baptist where they will say the kingdom of God suffered violent and only the violent take it by force. This time around, we are taking everything together, both the kingdom and the violence. But anyways, I want you guys to actually watch this video because, you know, some of these white folks, whenever they want to say something, they'll just go ahead, throw shit, and just think it is actually just going to lie there. But right now, that man is running. A lot of us are begging him, where are you? Show your face now. We want you. But we are not seeing him anymore. Anyways, I do not support any form of violence here. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And yes, guys, with that being said, let's dive right into this video. I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch.
White man leaves a comment talking to me about what are we going to do when Whitey takes away welfare and we can stop leeching off the white man. Aren't most welfare recipients white? Last time I fucking checked. But anyways, leeching off the white man. When in the history of people on earth has any black culture leeched off the white man? Name me a time in history that the white man had anything to fucking offer. White man. Oh, white man, what the fuck have you ever offered Earth, the people of the Earth, in good fucking faith? What have you offered the Earth? What have you offered the people that the people have just taken from you? Oh no, poor white man, poor white power system. We've been leeching off you through welfare. Oh, and how did you get that fucking welfare, you goddamn snake? You got it through a lot of capital. Well, how'd you establish that capital? You established that capital through free fucking labor. Slavery, right? Your favorite fucking act in history. Your claim to fame. The white man's fucking glory days. Yeah, so you wouldn't have a welfare system without fucking capital. And you wouldn't have capital without free labor. Slavery. So, leeching off the white man. Hey, white man, I got a question. What the fuck are you talking about? Leeching. You have not organically provided anything that didn't include someone else's blood. So whatever you give and whatever is taken is just a fraction of what the fuck you owe. Welfare is no fucking recompense for slavery. Never will it be. So you giving niggas a couple fucking shillings with the fucking clause that they better not work or better not make a certain amount. You better not have a man in the house. You better be in a fucking poverty line. Oh yeah, gee thanks. Gee thanks. You're giving government aid to people who don't have much and can't have much once they get the government aid. And once they start to gain a little bit of independence, government aid is gone. Whoa, gee thanks, white man. I guess that compares tremendously to fucking hundreds of years of goddamn free slavery, blood, sweat, and fucking tears. Just to wake up and have white motherfuckers call you lazy. Who's lazier, the slave or the goddamn slave master? Hmm? Who's lazier? The motherfucker coming in and working his ass off till he fucking dies, right? In the name of fear of death and submission? Or the motherfucker who's yielding muskets, whips, horses, and a unified white devil fucking faction to indefinitely enslave a specific people in the name of free labor and fucking financial gain and benefit? Which is more lazy? Leeching? I implore you, I implore you, white snake fucking liars, to concoct a truth in history where anybody, let alone black people, leached off of white people. And then you have the nerve to talk about mud huts. Remember, you filthy fucking disgusting Europeans had 7 black plagues. You almost wiped out your entire population. One third? One third of you motherfuckers died off after the Moors cleaned you up. After the Inquisition, into the late 1800s, you had black plagues. You were throwing shit and piss out the fucking window. You were using cat skins to hold water. You would sleep next to animals in the house. Lice and scabies and rashes. You didn't bathe but twice a year, maybe if you got married. Once a year was the custom, was the norm. You didn't even know hygiene. Mud huts? You lived in shit huts. Your streets were caked with shit. Remember the London stink? Remember that? Remember that, white man? Remember the London stink that happened like, oh, I don't know, like around the 1800s? Hmm? When slavery's at its peak, when you're trying to brainwash black people that you're superior, meanwhile, back at the ranch in London, you have a river of fecal matter, piss, and dead animals. The smell alone, it was killing people in London. Remember that, white man? This is in your glorious fucking 1800s. You're filthy. So no matter what mud hut that you're gonna fucking throw out there about you're gonna go back to mud huts. Okay. At least it's made from mud. At least it's not made with shit. At least they don't shit in those mud huts. They don't piss in those mud huts. They don't shit on the streets where those mud huts are aligned. At least those Africans never had a fucking black plague because they didn't wash their ass or their hands or their face or their mouth. At least they can show their beautiful black skin. You can't even show your skin. Look at all your old paintings of each other. Look at your old fucking pictures. You gotta cover your neck, your wrist, every fucking thing. All you Yankee Doodle fucks had this disgusting skin. Mud huts? At least it's made from organic earth. At least the mud hut will ground you, balance you with the fucking chakras. But if I walk through old Europe and my feet are caked in piss and shit, and I go into your old European nasty fucking house, and you guys are shitting and pissing in the hallways like your fucking kings were doing. Remember that? Remember all your royals were in the palaces, shitting in the fucking palace hallways and pissing? It didn't matter what class of you filthy fucks that you fell into. You were disgusting in all levels and all classes. Mud huts? I'll take a mud hut any fucking day over the shit caked, piss infested streets of Europe. Yeah. A white man came into my comments on my other account the other day when I was live, and he said that we will put you back in chains. You will be enslaved again. And these type of comments are very telling of the deep desires that many white people have. They all love these slave movies because they all want to have the experience of owning a nigga. And they love the idea of slavery coming back. But the bad news is that nigga has expired. You'll never get that brand of Negro again. White man, sorry. You'll never see that day again. That was a one off. You'll never get that off again. Trying to wrap a nigga up in bondage today, it's impossible. Because for one, black people today would never fucking let that happen. And two, the white man today isn't fucking equipped to make the shit happen. You're not producing enough Count fucking Draculas. You're not producing enough Michael Myers. You're not producing enough fucking Freddy Kruegers, man. Yeah, you're always gonna have this in your blood. We all know that you can't be anything else but Michael Myers and fucking Freddy Krueger. We know that. That's in your fucking DNA. But you don't have the nuts or the fucking guts to do what the fuck your wicked white devil forefathers did. You don't have it. You don't have the guts to fucking hang a woman upside down and cut her fucking stomach open. You don't have the guts to buck. You know, it's interesting. You never see black trolls in like white spaces where white people are having lives and talking about white people shit. You don't really have the dynamic that black people we experience with our accounts, whether it's just posting content or going live. If we're having conversations that are not in favor of white people tend to come in and troll, 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 troll. If we're having conversation that just doesn't even include white people, they want to come in and troll the fucking comments, troll the goddamn live. And you're a grown ass man, and you're so white and superior, right? In your mind. Why the fuck are you on nigga lives? Why are you on nigga content pages? Why the fuck don't you just keep scrolling? I would never sit on a white man's live and fucking troll. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see you. The fuck is this? Is for the record and for the slow fucking hillbilly trolls in the back. All you white trolls, this is for you because you're not hearing it. You're on my fucking goddamn videos, but you're not hearing it. You're in the comments, but you're not fucking listening. I'm gonna spell it out slow for you. Nobody wants you to patronize black business. I only brought up how you purposely will not patronize a black business just to spite the black business because that's the nature of you goddamn devils, right? Because you forced integration collectively to stop black business. A lot of you can come in here and say, we didn't force you. I don't know if you're born at night or last night or if you're just your white brain cells aren't collecting together fast enough. What the fuck do you know about anything if you don't think they forced integration on black people?
A lot of people probably not gonna like or agree with what I have to say. I don't give a damn. I really don't care. I'm specifically talking to black people, not talking to any other race. We are not going to be able to freely live in peace until they are gone. And you know what I mean by when I say they. I'm not even talking about the police. They. And I feel that in my soul. We can't even just be happy in private. Because there's always somebody that gotta come over there and put their hand all up in the mix and figure out what are we doing. And cause a commotion. We can't even be happy in private, bro. And then you got all this other stuff going on. I'm gonna call it the Thanos effect. And they gone. Bliss. Pure bliss. Peace. No war. No genocides.
We're entering the darkest hour for Black America ever. I do think that what we're about to enter is going to be worse than slavery. And the big reason for that is because people aren't even aware of how unfree they are at this point in time. We are actually all more fucked than Assata Shakur. Like all of us. And like I said, I've been on a watch list since I was 13. I'm not gonna go into why that is, but I've been on a domestic terrorist watch list since I was a child. Assata Shakur was also on was labeled a domestic terrorist, and Trump just signed an executive order to basically label all of us on this app as domestic terrorists. But what's even worse is that right now we actually have less organization, less movement, less capacity, less commitment than at any point in American history. Because people think, well, as long as I get money, I'll be fine. They're gonna run up in your fucking job, sis. They're coming in your job to snatch you. And I don't talk about this a lot, because being a Black woman with foresight, much in the same vein as Octavia Butler, I've been telling y'all this since 2020. Like 2019, I was like, oh, pattern recognized. Handmaid's Tale is actually not as bad as it's going to be. Because Handmaid's Tale is actually just what it's going to be for, like, wealthy white women. Do you guys realize the rest of us are going to them camps? And the craziest thing is y'all are like, they're not gonna get me, they're not gonna get me. They're gonna get you. You don't even know how to survive in the woods. How the fuck do you think Asada got to Cuba? Like, how do you think she physically moved her body to Cuba? How do you, like, you don't have not a singular survival skill. You're not a part of a single organization. You don't have no friends. You are a worker drone. You're a worker drone in a country that has decided that you are a domestic terrorist. You can't put your head down any further and avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother's eye. His eye is on us all, you guys. And it's frustrating. Here's what I'm going to say. I've been feeling called to leave social media. I no longer see any value that this app has, and I encourage all of you to leave social media and go outside. That, I think social media is actually hindering us from movement building, from actual organizing. It is taking too much of our time. It is distracting us. It is distracting because even organizers think they need to be on social media to reach people. No, that is not what the purpose of this app is. And it's not going to work in that sense. I think all of us need to wake up. It's time to like snap back to reality. And get serious. Because once you tip the scale, which has been tipped, but once you tip the scale from if I do everything right, if I assume a submissive position, if I do not resist, and if I go along to get along, I will still be captured by the state. You now have no choice but you have to now resist. I'm not going to say too much, but that is where we are. Or be content to die in the camp. Those are the only two options. And I think it's really hard for humans to like process like long-term situation reality. But like if you're not leaving the country, if you don't have at least $75,000 in cash right now, you cannot get out this motherfucker. I'm telling you right now, you're stuck here with us. And yeah, if you don't have the money to leave, you're stuck here. You're gonna get either captured or you're gonna, like, that's it. Like, that's it. Because none of us they have a record. They know who is a Nazi and who's not. And most of you are not Nazis. So you're gonna end up in the camp. And this is a country that has no problem committing G-sides. I need y'all to wake up. We are at the point where all of us must either commit revolutionary suicide or prepare to go the way of that young woman in V for Vendetta. I'm giving you as much game as I can give you. Okay? That's it, that's all. That's it. There's quite literally only two options, and I need y'all to choose. I need you to make a choice today. Today's the day. If you were looking for the day of, oh my God, are we going to do it or not? It's today. Today's that day.
So on today's version of White People Can't Leave Black People Alone If Their Life Depended on It, we're barbecuing at the park, right? It's Memorial Weekend, but we're there on Saturday, yesterday. So it's not busy, okay? The park is wide open. We are literally the only people within like a 0.25 mile radius that are actually like parked and doing things. You know what I mean? Like there's a few people throwing some frisbees, some footballs. There's somebody like throwing a ball with their dog. But like as far as like actively taking up space, like a bunch of picnic tables, one group, us. And so we're all grilling out and I watch these women, right? Because I'm just sitting there. Obviously I'm not cooking. I'm watching these women walk from across the park, right? First they're on the trail. They're on the trail. Then they come off the trail towards us. Then they walk up towards us. They're across from me at the picnic table and they go, "Do you guys mind if we sit here?" Nobody says anything. So I say, "You have the entire park and you want to sit right here? That's weird." 'Cause it fucking is. Like, don't piss me off. Like, I watched y'all walk. Y'all had hundreds of options of picnic tables to sit at. You choose to sit right here. And not only, you know it's weird because you're asking us. So you know you're being fucking weird. And you know it's weird if we say no. Good thing is, I'm a bitch in real life. It don't bother me. Why do you want to sit next to us when you have this entire park to sit at? They didn't say a word. They just walked away. Weird ass.
Huggins, I do apologize. I apologize. My last video about parasitism, I didn't give you your definitions. And I know you guys love the definitions. So I'm going to go ahead and make up for that. Okay, Huggins, I got you. So when we're talking about definitions, we're going to go right in the beginning. Mr. Woodard gives it to us straight. Okay, no mayo. All right, no mayo at all. Okay. Now, Mr. Woodard uses Patterson's definition of parasitism, and this is in the context of the institution of slavery. Basically, without enslaved people, the white U.S. Harkins would have completely disappeared, okay, because they survived off of that institution of slavery. I do like to focus on the culture, though, in the Whiteabetes, the spirit and shit, okay? So the slaveholder, this is the definition, okay, this is definition. The slaveholder, in order to maintain an image, it means it's not real, of himself as civilized and free of parasitic appetites, camouflaged his dependence, his parasitism, by various ideological strategies. Paradoxically, he defined the slave as dependent. Y'all hawkers tend to do that shit. This is consistent with the human technique of camouflaging. Y'all hear me talk about that shit too. A relation by defining it as the opposite of what it really is. Parasite is the perfect concept for my purposes, the author, as it implies a range of consumptive acts, some resulting in immediate deletion, but most involving the passage of time in the incremental feeding upon the human host. Okay? Now, right here, common strategy. The masters often hid their appetites and hungers in stereotypes and ideologies that attributed their characteristics to the slave. Patterson describes a reality wherein the master y'all deflect a lot, his appetites and hungers onto myths of the chattel slave as dependent, childlike, and somehow ennobled by the master's consumptive needs. Okay, scholars have reinforced slave-owning ruling class mentality and have helped to maintain a general code of silence regarding the master's appetites and sycophantic needs. Now, he uses, like I said, he uses the institution of slavery in after. Okay. And if you follow the oncologist studies, the Whiteabetes research, you'll be able to recognize who are the parasites in today's society. Phil Knight here, one of the founders of Nike, he is a prime example of a parasite. He is a slave master. He is a plantation owner, one of the biggest ones in America today. Sneaker culture is black culture, and y'all liked Kohan's shit. Okay, when we were wearing sneakers, y'all was wearing loafers. That's your culture. That's your hunk of shit. Now we have to recognize if Phil Knight did not have access to black bodies, he would be stuck with mediocre white people selling sneakers at a Walmart. Okay, that's where he would be. That's just my theory. Okay, I digress. And capitalism is used to camouflage the relationship between these honkies and black people, specifically black men. Anyway, honkies, like I said, I apologize. I didn't put the definition into the first video. I apologize. I know you guys love those definitions. Okay. Then I wouldn't suggest you read this book. This is advanced. This is advanced Whiteabetes treatment. Okay, I'm just gonna give you a little bit at a time. Just a little bit at a time, honkies. Okay. You're welcome.
So white people will never leave black people alone, and I'm gonna tell you why. White society's obsession with black people isn't new, it's centuries old. If you think about slavery, colonialism, and exploitation, from the start, white wealth in America was built off the backs of black bodies. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice. This wasn't just economics, it was a system where white people's very identity was shaped around controlling and owning and watching black bodies. But here's the wild contradiction in all of this, right? While trying to dehumanize us, white culture has always been obsessed with us, right? They copied our music, our style, our language, our food, even our rhythm, all while denying us basic rights. Think about jazz and rock and hip hop and fashion, all born out of black genius, only to be taken, watered down, and sold back to the world with a white face on it. So why can't they just stay away? Because in a system that is built both on exploitation and envy, distance is impossible. White supremacy depends on keeping black people in place, close enough to use, control, or imitate, but never free enough to threaten the hierarchy. It's a sick paradox, fear and fascination at the same damn time. On a psychological level, it's projection. White folks will project their guilt, their fear, and their insecurities onto blackness, and then turn around and crave the very life, culture, and resilience they tried to destroy. It's like they want the sauce, but not the struggle. Now, to be real, not every white person acts like this, but the system, the way whiteness has defined itself against blackness, makes it so this obsession keeps resurfacing. Whether it's over policing or culture appropriation or trying to legislate our lives, it always comes back to the old need to dominate mixed with a quiet desire to be what they can't.
A black person I know commented that she is sick and tired of white people suddenly panicking about the political climate. She didn't feel like the fear was fake. It's just that it's not new, not to her, not to black people, not even the fascism part. She said black communities have lived with this level of threat, control, and rollback their entire lives. So when white progressives sound alarmed now, it doesn't feel urgent to her. It lands as amnesia. She said something else that matters. Many black people are not rushing to join these white panic-driven marches and movements, not because they don't care, but because history has taught them that white people show up in a big way when they're afraid, and then they disappear when the ongoing cost gets too high. That's hard for us to hear, and it's super important. If you're white and this political climate is scaring you, think about it this way. Fear does not have to turn into flailing or performative outrage. It can turn into discipline. It's not the time to ask black people to calm you down, to teach you, or to support you as you feel your fear. That is not allyship. That's extraction. What helps is building up our own stamina instead of urgency. Learn the policies. Learn the history. Support the people already doing the work, and don't expect praise. Stick with it when it gets boring. Stay with it when it's slow. Keep doing the work when nobody's paying attention. Use your access. Talk to other white people. Interrupt the lies and vote every time. Donate consistently. Protect organizers when backlash comes. And this isn't about proving that you're a good person. It's about turning the urgency into reliability. You can do this. I'm not an expert. I'm just an avid learner, and I hope you'll join me. Get curious.
Anyways, that's all I got for this video, and let's break this down so that we all can be on the same page. Let's talk about the first people that will never leave black people. It should be these white people, right? And let's talk about people that have literally committed the atrocity, the lynching, the slavery, the segregation, the Jim Crow, the redlining, name it whatsoever. It is still boiling down to these people. But at every single point in time, these people are always looking out for conversation to open their guts mouth to say, we are going to be sent back to the field. We are going to be picking back cuttings. In fact, we should get our hands ready that we are going back to the plantations. Let her click. Let her click that you people think that this was actually the era where there was doing buying and selling of slavery and nobody actually wanted to talk, blah, blah, blah. You think this is the era that we are? You think this is the era whereby our speech will actually be depressed? Knowing fully well that, yes, freedom of speech is actually even getting depressed every single day. But does that really stop us from talking? Does that really stop us from advocating or saying what we want to say? You know, one of the things I've realized about some of these white folks is once they do not have anything to say, all they need to do is they need to look for black people's video. If they are not reacting to it and saying the opposite side, they are looking for ways where black people will literally drag them. Where black people will literally drag them. And at the end of the day, they don't come and start forming the pity party nonsense. Now we are looking for his profile. We are looking for it. And to now crown it all, that 99% of them, once they know that what they are actually going to say is actually going to be racist and people are going to come for them, they will run off by removing their profile picture, privating their account, and when you go to their account, you find out that this particular account has not posted videos before. Or what's come to us, they will create a new account. The only job that that account will be doing is for the account to be going to black people's comment section and be dropping nonsense. Just imagine what a full-grown blood man have to say. Okay? Imagine what he have to say. He said from the first time, he said, you are right. You're right. And you all will be back in the mud hut when it happens. You all have been lynching of white man for hundreds of years. Better questions. What are you gonna do when Whitey isn't there to pay welfare? What are you gonna do, broke arts? Who is feeding more from welfare? Who is enjoying the welfare? Who is crying of food stamp more? Who is crying of EBT more? Who is saying that the regime they voted for is not actually what they are saying? Who is saying and weeping, mourning every single day that the regime they voted for has literally collected fruit from their mouth? It has literally collected healthcare center from their mouth. Who has been crying? White folks. White folks. They are the ones that cry every single now and then because they are cry babies. They don't know how to stand for themselves. Yes. The only thing they know how to do is to look for a way, go to our comment section and say trash. Like this kind of person now that don't even have picture on his profile. Is it this kind of person that will come and send us back to the mud house? We are them waiting to go back to the mud house. We are even tired of all this modern civilization. Come take us to the mud house. No, come bunch black Americans and take them to the mud house. Let's know who is actually going to be in the mud house. You think this was then when there was no internet, there was nothing, our fathers were not even able to speak up? But have it at the back of your mind that the little ones that speak, they did not only make history, they make their name heard. So you have the right to always come comment trash. On that one we say, we'll put you back in chains. You put wood person. You cannot even put only me in chains. Talk more of to put a whole bunch of black Americans in chain. Let's see who is going to be in the chain. Let's see who is going to get the chain. Let's see who... Oh my God. These people don't know. They don't know what is coming for them. Honestly. I think this was back in those days. Where they can play, talk, any nonsense they want to say, blah, 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 and nothing is actually going to happen. This time around, the more we see both your videos, both your comments, both anything they're trying to do, we are going to come with full force. We are going to stand with full force. We are going to... Let's beware of black people, please. Stay on your lane and let us be in peace. We don't look for trouble. We don't start a battle. You guys are always the one that will start a battle that you cannot finish. Now, once you start a battle, you start running. You start running helter-skelter. You start looking for people that will come help you stitch your videos and say something. And that is why I posted a particular video. I think the first video I posted this morning, where you literally see this white woman shouting, oh, they are this is segregation. They don't want to serve us food because my husband is wearing Trump Woody. And what did I say? It's segregation because it's a black woman, right? It's segregation because it's coming from a black American minor lady, but it is not going to be segregation to you if you are the one doing it. It's going to be your right. You're going to hit your chest and be like, oh, I'm a racist. So what are we saying here? Let me know what you think about these videos. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do it, subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. I just want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also dropping commentaries. I really appreciate it. I do not take you guys for granted. And yes, guys, thank you so much for staying stick and hook with me to the end of this video. And yes, with that being said, with no further ado, I'd like always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.